Hi there! In this video I want to show you how you can build an automatic crafting system in Minecraft. The motivation for the build is the introduction of the Minecraft crafter, where you can basically craft every item in the game. The crafter looks like this, where you have, or it looks just like a normal crafting table, where you have 9 slots where you can insert materials, and then in order to craft you have to activate the crafter, and in order to insert material you can put hoppers facing into the crafter, and you can also click slots to not let hoppers fill their materials at this slot. So in this case you can create a crafting recipe for an oven, and yeah, that's basically everything you need to do, or everything that is new. And now it's a question how you can combine all the materials to crafters and distribute the items and then put them back into, for example, in storage system. And in this case I built a system consisting of 4 recipes, in this case for repeaters, hoppers, chests and pistons, and all the required materials for those recipes are also in the system. In this case, for example, for a repeater you need redstone torches, stone and redstone, and if you activate if you want to produce this item, there's a lever attached to it. If you activate it, all the required materials will be pulled from the corresponding chests, and then the item will be crafted and put in here. If you deactivate it again, the items which are still in the system and weren't used to craft the desired item will be put back into the chest. It will take some time, and you can also craft multiple crafting recipes in parallel. I only use this for 4 recipes and can't make any assumptions about more than 4 recipes, but yeah, it's possible. And that's basically how it works. In order to build it you need 3 components. One is the dependency matrix, where you combine which materials are needed by which recipes. In the second part you need circular item streams, where items are distributed across all the crafting machines. And in the last part you need to build all the crafting machines, and yeah, then you need to connect all the outputs and redstone signals together to get a working machine. Okay, let's start. You need to connect the signals coming from the recipes or the signals to the chests with each other. In this case I marked the signal coming from the recipe, or from the lever in the end, as the pink, with a pink color, and the signal going to a material, or in this case blocking the items from flowing through the hoppers, as a blue signal. And in order to build it only one white, you can build it like this. For this part you basically need redstone comparator, redstone torch, hopper. Redstone lamp is of course optional, but it's better usable, and chest, redstone dust, some building block. Okay, the next part is to combine the recipes with required materials. So you have here the blue signal, which corresponds to the signal to activate or deactivate the flow, or pulling the items from the chest, from the material chest, and the pink color which encodes the recipe if you want to create it and craft it. And in this, for example, for the chest you only need planks, so you combine it, so you put a redstone torch to say that this recipe needs this material, and for a hopper you need a chest and an iron, so you define this dependency. For this part you only need the classic redstone components. The third part you need to build are the circulating water streams or item streams. The first thing you need to do is to connect the hopper, the item hoppers, to a dropper, which then shoots the item at honey blocks in order to align them on the from this perspective left side of the ice. So if items or if hoppers are placed like this, they can go in there. And therefore you need this kind of setup, water streams and ice to make the items go fast. And yeah, you need it one way this way and back to the original start. For transporting the items back up, you can use a water stream. In this case I used water elevator with ocean, which transports the item back up here and back into the water stream system. And in order to protect the stream from overflowing, or that items will be stuck here and may disappear, you gotta build some kind of overflow protection which checks if the hoppers are full, then the item stream from above will be blocked with this lamp. This blocks those hoppers. And yeah, important things to note at this building is that if you want to have it one wide, like shown like this here, then you have to build with the displacement, and all other stuff depends on it. So you have to build like this, and at some point in time you have to add one more space between the water streams in order to not let this displacement go anywhere, and you use unnecessary many blocks to build it. And also another thing to notice that the clocks connected to the hoppers in order to output the items in the water stream need to have a repeater which is loaded once, so that the torch won't burn out. And this is also the case for the clocks used to get the items back up. And the length of the streams depends on which crafting systems you use, and that's what I'm going to explain in the next step. And the height in this case needs to be at least 11 blocks. If you're going to build this the circulating item streams, you need all the items listed in this chest. So you need the classic redstone building blocks or redstone blocks, and then you need droppers, hoppers, and pack the ice, some kind of sign, the bamboo fences, some building blocks, kelp if you want to build the water streams without using water buckets all the time. Then you of course need water buckets to build the water streams. Then you need honey block to align the items. Then you need a chest and place for the item in order to compare the overflow of the hopper. And this should output a signal strength of 14, so you can check if it's nearly full. or I mean, it doesn't necessarily depend on if it's completely full, just it shouldn't be 1. Recipes in Minecraft require up to 4 materials. Of course, there are recipes which require 5 materials, but those aren't commonly used and pretty rare, so I haven't considered them. And those crafting machines have as inputs the material stream, those hoppers, which are facing into the crafter, and if all the material stream have enough items inserted, then the crafter will be activated and items will be crafted. And if you know which machines you need, then you can place them, then you have to place them below the water streams. There needs to be a space between the crafting machines and the water streams, and the material hoppers or hopper stream, whatever you want to call them, needs to be placed like this, such that the items in the water stream can be collected from the hoppers at the side of the water stream. And there needs to be some space between the crafting machines in order to put some more wiring between them. So as output you have those repeaters of the crafting machines, and those ones symbolize if the, or those ones encode if the material stream, or if there is enough material connected to the crafter. And those outputs need to be combined with a recipe signal in such a way that if the recipe is not active, no item from any water stream will be pulled. So the hoppers, those ones will be deactivated, and if the recipe is active, only those hoppers which still need items are active and take the items from the water streams. And if you connect other wires, of course you don't always need that much space between, so you can optimize over the space, because this depends then on the length of the water stream you have to build. And the next step you have to do is to set up the crafting machines. So you gotta put in the crafting recipe. They need to be full, and also the timing of the repeaters here need to be attached. Basically what the timing does is that it crafts in certain intervals, and in those intervals all the items from the material streams will have to be inserted in that time, so that they never run out and that a crafting recipe always stays in there, so you don't have to do more manually set up stuff. The next step you gotta do is connect the drainage of the water streams. So you have two parts of the water streams, one going in one direction and the other one going in the other direction, and somewhere you need to put a drainage, so if you no longer need items circulating around, you want to recollect those items and put them back into the storage system. And for those you need to create some kind of storage system, which is basically just a hopper deactivated if the hopper needs to be activated if the item is required, and otherwise the items should be collected and outputted. And the very last step you have to do is connect every part you just built, and For this you need to make sure that the signals coming from the recipes and from the materials are connected to the dependency matrix, and the item streams should be connected to the circular item. The item streams should be connected to the circular item streams, and the output of the crafting recipes should be connected to some kind of water stream which goes back into the storage system. And the drainage signal needs to be connected to the material signal. For a quick summary of the machine, I want to demonstrate it really quick. So let's activate every crafting recipe, and every item will be inserted into the system, and now it will take some time until the first item will be crafted and transported into the system, into the storage system. So the items are now being crafted and inserted into its corresponding chests, and in this case the chests won't be inserted, or they won't stay in their chest, because the recipe for a hopper needs a chest, so the chest will be automatically pushed back into the system and used for hoppers. And it's hard to give any sets, because it's hard to give any stats about the machine, because it heavily depends on which recipes you use. But what I tried so far is switching the distribution system to minecarts, which is horribly not effective at all. So it's as much optimized as I could do it. And the map download is of course in the description, so if you want to build it, best is to just download the map and check for yourself. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.